Welcome to Girl What podcast, and we are Oh Snap, What's Next? I am the expressive Esther Jade.
And I am Lo Main.
So we are here with two special guests for our Oh Snap episode. We have Khefera Phillip-El, Forager and Plant Whisperer, and we have Danielle Freeman, Urban Agriculture Specialist.
Yes. Welcome, ladies.
So we want to move on into our What's the Tea, Sis? And we're going to discuss with these two lovely ladies the real cost of eating in 2026. This is going to be real interesting. So we are so honored to welcome Khefera Phillip-El, a plant and environmental educator and cultural curator, and Danielle Freeman, an agricultural science communicator, to the podcast.
Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. Khefera's work is deeply rooted in land-based learning, cultural memory, and creative expression. With a background in environmental education through nonprofits like Maymont and Fit for Kids and hands-on experience as a crew member and mentor at Legacy Farm, she brings both heart and praxis to cultivating the next generation of land stewards. A graduate of the Urban Farming Fellowship Program and a devoted student forager, Khefera honors ancestral knowledge while making it accessible, relevant, and alive through storytelling and experiential education. As a founder and owner of Griot Garden, Khefera curates plant-centered experiences that connect the African diaspora throughout history, culture, and a shared reverence for plants. Her culturally curated plant and sip gatherings are spaces of reflection, reconnection, and reclamation, where ancestral plant wisdom meets contemporary community care. And I had the honor of Lo and myself had an honor of experiencing that. And an artist and lifelong creative and an entrepreneur since the age of 11, her Caribbean heritage, and born in Macon, Georgia, her work embodies tradition, resilience, and the enduring creative spirit of the diaspora. Danielle's work at the intersection of land, justice, art, and community, rooted in her lifelong love of the natural world and the relationships we build with it through ethnobotany. Oh, thank you. Ethnobotany.
We all butchered
I know. Ethnobotany.
That's how you know it's good.
With a background in landscape architecture and deep involvement in Virginia State University's Small Farm Outreach Program and the National Urban Agriculture Initiative, Danielle has collaborated with countless community organizations to advance food justice, youth education, restorative justice, ecological design, and urban agriculture. From the Mosby Justice Garden to national conversations with farmers across the Midwest and South, from TEDx Youth RVA to the John R. Lewis Memorial Lecture on a reparative land justice, her impact is both grounded and far-reaching. She's also a multidisciplinary artist, bringing mixed media, acrylic, and wire into gallery spaces because creativity, like land, deserves room to grow. And because we love the full picture, Danielle is also the proud human to a bearded dragon named Toph, proof that her love for living ecosystems truly knows no bounds. Welcome to Girl What, Khefera and Danielle. We're ready to dig in.
So just a quick side note, Danielle, when you walked in, I saw you look up, but now it makes total sense. Because I was like, why is she looking up? But I was about to say, you're probably looking at the designs on the lights, right? Because I was like, we have designs on our lights in the studio. So I always peep how everybody comes in. So that's one of my secret talents. And I saw you looking up. So it makes perfect sense now.
Yeah, stained glass. Gorgeous patterns.
So thank you, ladies, so much for being here today. Our first question is, grocery prices have exploded since early 2025. How has this shifted the way everyday people shop, forage, or feed their families in today?
Well, grocery store prices is a part of the landscape. Mm-hmm. See, because we're also seeing food services and food banks and pantries also being shut down. Funding has been moving away from urban agriculture in almost every way it can. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of different ways to receive funding. that again have been blocked or halted in some ways. So how has that changed how people feed their families?
Yeah.
That's it, I think in every way. And maybe Farrah can speak more to this life.
Before we get into that, I just want to notate that the U.S. food inflation on an annual basis, 2020, it increased 3.9%. 2022 increased 10.4%. Yeah. And last year increased to 2.6%. So you compound all of that. That's crazy work. But
yeah,
I think even deeper than that, thinking about how easily food can be taken from us.
Right. Yes, it's like, we need that.
Yeah,
it's
COVID really showed us that, or even this year with the food stamps being cut off. You know, people are running to the food banks looking for, you know, something to eat. And like she said, those food banks are starting to shut down. So how can we learn how to better sustain ourselves? Because we can't rely on the government. We can't rely on anybody else to be able to feed us but ourselves.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're trying to commodify food and water. I mean, water has already, they've been doing that for decades, but what I see what they're trying to do is push people into a scarcity mindset so they can have a reason to enact violence upon the American people. People need food and water,
right.
That you have to be certifiably diabolical to do stuff like that. You know what I mean? And
we know they are.
Oh, I mean, yes, but there are some people who still they're caping for the patriarchy.
Yeah.
For even, burn it down for them. Okay, I'm in here too. So, but burn it down. Like, really? You'll sacrifice yourself so that the people you believe that's underneath you don't get this? That's
yeah,
amazing.
Yeah. I think in urban agriculture, we might think of it a different way because, I mean, it's difficult to be like working on a farm and then you're like, you have all this fresh food around you and like all you can do is just like give and give and give and there's never enough. And so when you're saying like, how does it affect how people feed their families? Like I've been seeing a lot more people like, slide me a squash, like slide me a couple cherry tomatoes on the side. But also like we are a little bit aware of like a really large systems that work around. So like you're talking about water, like the first thing I'm going to is Flint, Standing Rock. And like this country has systemically like made all of these things difficult because
engineered it.
They want to kill us, so I think it's like the conversation of like, how does it change how people feed their families? Like, maybe they're buying cheaper stuff. Maybe they're, not getting as good quality things. But in the first place, the systems that set up the grocery stores, we know that they are redlined. They're going to the richer communities. Like we have, like not as good grocery stores in food deserts, and I really just like it's a systemic thing, and it's like getting worse and getting worse. It just means that people are like hungrier and getting less nutritious food, and people are more like nervous systems are out of whack, less able to make decisions, less able to focus at work, less able to focus at school, and like just perpetuating the kind of systems. So everything that we're doing is like in antithesis of that.
Yeah, and touching on the point of it being systemic, like people don't have a choice but to buy foods that are not healthy for them.
Yeah.
And
they're
coming from families who had to make, those tough decisions. And so people don't know how to cook, eggplant anymore.
Right.
Like people don't know how to cook these vegetables in ways that, taste appealing to them. So we're strategically fed these foods that are killing us. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also the disabling of those knowledge systems too, of how to prepare the food, and like even the taste buds of like this tastes good and I want to eat it.
Yeah,
completely different. Because I mean, just doing research on like agroforestry and stuff like that. Almost all of the trees and plants that we have around, like magnolias and dogwoods even, we're not thinking of those as food, but they were. Like black walnuts were. Like my people make black walnuts into desserts,
Yes.
And to think of like, okay, so I could figure out how to make a dessert out of a walnut.
Yeah.
Like a black walnut.
Acorns.
Like that's a whole different taste palette though. Yeah. And so like, the reality is, like, a lot of people don't want to, like, eat all of the healthy things because it doesn't taste good. And after a long day of work, you don't want to come home and eat, like, something that's not.
The other part is we don't have the time to grow our own food because they have gotten us invested or conditioned into the 40-hour work week.
Yeah. And I think that agriculture should have never been a job. I think that is the first. I can't curse. It's the first
by only
misuse.
Bible words.
Yeah, you can do you can do Bible curse words.
It's the first bastardization of urban agriculture. I appreciate that. Bible cuss words. Okay. It's the first bastardization of food and of our relationship with food, because there should never be a time where leaving the house and leaving your community is more important than feeding your community.
Yeah.
And the idea that leaving your community will feed your community more than staying in your community is the switch in the brain that's like, we trying to flip back.
Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm. What's one misconception people have about foraging or mobile markets that keeps them from exploring more affordable food options? I think we kind of touched on that. Taste buds, anything
dirty.
else? Oh, what?
I mean, it's dirt on the plant.
I hear that all the time. Like, people are like,
really?
Why would somebody be outside,
Like,
like eating grass? Like, why?
That's gross.
Yeah. People say that all the time.
So do they not realize the stuff that they get from the grocery stores initially started on the ground as well? Like,
I mean,
and then you got to wash your plants,
right?
Even we're washing the wax off of the vegetables. We're not washing dirt off the vegetables.
Oh, well, depending on what you get, because you know what I mean. Like, ooh,
yeah. Some people, like, they really don't like seeing dirt, touching dirt.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like the dirt itself is like.
But that's life, man.
Right.
Like, maybe that's the country in me.
No, but that's the damage that it's done. That's the, like, when you're so far removed from something that's so, like, you can't go without dirt. Like, come on. But the first thing you got to do with kids in the urban agriculture is, like, it's okay to touch dirt.
Yeah.
Like, we can wash our hands. Your nails will be fine. Like, it's okay if you we might not try to get on the J's, but we can clean up. We can clean them.
Right.
I promise. Yeah. We can clean
right.
What about foraging?
I mean, and recently I made this connection, but like in the Caribbean, people go and they pick mangoes, or they go climb coconut trees and, drink fresh coconuts. And that's not strange or abnormal to them. But for some reason here, going and eating a chokeberry or going and, eating a pawpaw, things like that, that's so far removed.
Aki fruit.
Even a blackberry. Like,
yes.
You can see that it's a blackberry.
Yeah, it's a blackberry. Yeah. You can go and pick it off.
I was about to say, my grandma, she had a blackberry bush in her backyard. So anytime I was on there,
shout out grandma.
Right. I was about to say, we definitely were, or not we, I'm acting like I got siblings. But, I would definitely be out there like, Grandma, I'm going back there. And my grandma's biggest fear was snakes. So she would always hate for me to go back there. But I'm like, girl, I'm fine. Like, let me go get my, blackberries. And she'd take them into her, wash them off. She's making some kind of something with them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like kind of going what you said earlier. Like, dirt is okay. Water is here for a reason.
Right.
Like, we got to get back in the habit of doing these things that our ancestors did naturally. Because it's like, okay, they didn't have, especially, being slaves. You're having to go pick everything yourself. You're having to create all of these dishes. I had looked at something, and it's so funny that you had mentioned, people not realizing what they have in front of them. I had looked at a YouTube video a couple of weeks ago, and it actually was showing a bunch of different like desserts that Black people don't make anymore that we, once made. And like some of them, I'm like, oh my, like we still make that. Like, oh yeah, I know that. But other ones, I was really in awe because I'm like, wow, like, oh, you can do that with what? Like, I've never heard of that before. So again, it's just getting back into that mindset of, you can utilize what you have in front of you. Just because you have been, I can't look, my mind just went blank. Just because you have been conditioned to, have certain foods and come from certain places, that's not necessarily always the case. So go do what you need to do. Like, I mean, honestly, anything in life is a lesson, right? Yeah. So even if it's something where it's like, oh, I'm not going to try that anymore, you at least tried it.
So fun fact, slaves didn't get to eat what they grew.
Well, no, I'm not saying they grew. Yeah.
And I think a lot of that stuff was born after we were allowed, they had to forage. And that's why they had laws in places like Georgia that you couldn't even pick, like after they freed the slave emancipation, they made laws making it illegal for you to pick fruit off of or vegetables and all that stuff. And that's basically what they're doing now.
And
To
some of those laws are still in place.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, for a reason, right? But our engineers tell us it's time to go to commercial.
So y'all know what to do. Stick around. We'll be back.
Yes.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back. We are talking about, girl, what? Oh, snap. What's next? We have Khefera Phillip-El and Danielle Freeman with us, and we are having a wonderful conversation about what's going on with our food and just, we're digging into that. So now we're going into our love, baby, and other grown folks business segment. And we are talking about stretching a meal, stretching your sanity. Esther, so let us know what's going on.
Yes, so we've got Danielle and Khefera here to continue the amazing conversation. We're having such great off-air conversation. Right. I love that. We talked about Black Forager that I see on social media called the Black Forager, who's based out of Ohio. She has great content if you're looking to do that. But I'd say you need to follow Khefera Phillip-El because she has wonderful content as well. So we're gonna dive right into it. For families trying to stretch every dollar, what are three? What do you think are 3 realistic ways that we can source healthy food beyond just eating organic?
I'm not gonna lie, it's difficult.
Yeah.
As a person, I'm not the best eater and forager, and I don't get all my meals, which is part of we need to change urban agriculture. We need to be taking care of ourselves better. But to be honest, if you like food pantries and the things that should be working, go to your friends who grow. Make friends with people that grow, but I would not say go to them in knowing that you wouldn't be able to pay them because one thing that I learned is that people the work of a farmer it's extremely undervalued, again, because it should not be a career field. It should be something that everybody's participating in. But for one person to put that on themselves, to me, is almost like your body is taking a huge hit. Doing that stuff every day. Yep. So
very labor intensive.
Right. As a community member that's struggling to make ends meet, I would say ask nicely. Go up to a farmer and ask, because they gonna give 9 times out of 10. But it's still people's businesses, and food pantries really should be working, but they not.
What about bartering?
Bartering for sure. Yeah. If you got the time and the means to do it, for sure.
And bartering is if you're going to go to Farmer Danielle and ask her for some food, you need to give her something in equal weight and payment. If you can't give her money, you need to be able to have a time or talent or something, a skill that you can give to her for that food.
In return.
Yeah. I really do believe in, the trade-off because both of my grandparents have either a farming background or a, oh my God, the word escaped me right now, sharecropper.
Yeah.
Yeah, and both my grandmother, who's 90-some years old, up till maybe 25 years ago, she couldn't pick any, plant, pick, and all of that. But it's very much rooted in me, and I understand that because I've actually helped toil the land. It's not easy. Yeah.
And
so
their bodies break down deeply. It's hard to watch somebody age and their mind is still so active and really able to process everything that's going on, and their body is just not moving.
Yeah. Well, as a forager, what are safe, beginner-friendly places to forage in our region without risking fines or poisoning themselves?
Without risking fines, I don't know.
Community gardens.
Community gardens, yeah, that's a really good
open
one.
Places. That's where you can go and volunteer and do some things and put some sweat equity in.
And one thing I'm about to say, and I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. One thing that I don't like, though, even here, you really only see community gardens with schools that are in the city proper. So it's and if I'm wrong, please let me know. But, definitely in the counties, they don't really introduce those things to children as well. So again, it goes back to, okay, you're only trying to fix what is a poverty area, or as is known as a poverty area, because of course the counties around here, even though that's not necessarily the case, they're assumed to be oh, they're financially stable.
Right.
You know, the children have parents that are well off, so they don't need to know how to do these other types of things. So I love the aspect of a community garden, and anytime I see like little elementary schools, and the kids love it too, because honestly, kids love dirt.
They do.
So, you know, so it's like not only are they getting to play in dirt, but then it's like they're getting to see what they've done once they've planted these things, you know, into the garden and into the ground. And it's like, you know, it gives them that excitement, and it has them thinking like, okay, well, I see mommy and daddy like going to the store, but maybe if they give me some seeds, I can start even for myself, like, you know, planting something where I know that I made it and it can be eaten. So, you know, that's one thing I wish that it would be expanded more than just to the city.
Yeah, that's definitely valid. There's a large conversation going on right now between the connections of rural and urban gardening or agriculture really, because the dynamics are so similar. And it's like you go rural enough, like you're going to hit a food desert and you're going to hit a county that or a school district that doesn't have what it needs. Right. So, that's a huge dynamic. Really, I would say Forest Hill Park is a good place to learn how to forage. It's a cute place. You could go anywhere in the city from Forest Hill Park. And, you know, not to say that you're not going to get poisoned, because I'm not with you. I don't know what you're eating. But it is a good place to go and kind of remind yourself what a certain plant looks like.
Yeah.
I feel like plant identification is the first thing with foraging, which is why I say community gardens, because you're there, maybe they'll have signs, or at least somebody that can tell you this is what this is. And then you go out into the world, and then you can say, oh, okay, because I knew how it looked over here, I know how it looks over here, even if it's in different stages of growing.
And another thing that came to my mind is farmers markets are very, you know, I actually go to one particular, I'm not going to say because I don't want nobody popping up, but I'm like, no, because I don't want people finding me out there. I want to do my thing. Look, River Street market, okay. I'm in tight with the produce farmer there, and we have a lot of conversations. And there is a he takes all the produce that he doesn't sell that day, and I forget what it's called, and I need to find out, and I'm going to share it on our social media. But he takes it to a place where he can go and offload it, and it can help people who actually really need it. Because I think a lot of times the food banks don't even take fresh foods. And an alternative to...
I'll get to that.
Don't always rely on the internet. I am a big believer in getting something in your hands, because that can't be taken away from you. That is knowledge, that is education that no one can take away from you. So a few books I want to recommend to people who are interested in this. There's one book called How to Stay Alive in the Woods, a complete guide to food, shelter, and self-preservation that makes starvation in the wilderness next to impossible, by Bradford Angier, thank you. A Handbook of Native American Herbs by Alma Hutchins. And then Foraging, Maryland, Virginia, and Washington, D.C., Finding, Identifying, and Preparing Edible Wild Foods by Christopher Nyerges. And you can find that out anywhere. There's other comparable things. I'm sure there's like forager groups and things like that. Do you ladies have any
there's
suggestions?
Definitely a lot of foraging groups. And I highly recommend getting into the Facebook groups, because there are breakdowns of like even the mushroom foraging ones. So when you do go out and you're finding things and you may not know what it is, you can post pictures in those groups, and there are professionals in those groups that can tell you whether or not that is something that you can eat. But I also want to say that when you do get into foraging, it really is about studying the plant that you're looking for, and the plants that may look like the plant that you're looking for, and especially with mushrooms.
Yeah. I love mushrooms. Herbs. But I'm still waiting on you to make a foraging group. Not a group, but like experience, so I can sign up and go.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to figure out the parameters around doing something like that.
Okay. Yeah. I would love that. What do you wish parents knew about teaching their kids the connection between food, nature, and cultural heritage?
You got to have a connection with food, nature, and cultural heritage.
Yeah.
You need to work on yourself. Like, there's so much, but there's also, like, there's a lot that people think they know, but, like, that's not the science of it. One I'll use an example. There are seeds, right? Basil seeds will get this kind of like mucousy covering with them when they get wet, and that's to preserve the seed so it doesn't go bad. But sometimes people misconstrue that into the seed is germinating or something else is happening. So I would say learning the metabolic process, like having this deep connection, like you just got to do the work. Like you read a book, like watch a documentary.
Y'all heard that? Read a book.
Yeah, read a book, watch a documentary, draw a picture. I really like drawing plants because it gets you to understand how, like, the difference between a flower and a floret.
Right.
That's, nobody really cares. I care because that's how the pollinators work. And so I think I'm also like in the education space, so I got a lot to say about that one. But I think that people really just need to care about plants as beings and see them as like their own thing, not just like what they can do for us, not just what they can feed us or what we can get.
It's a symbiosis.
It's a symbiosis, it's a relationship, and we need to spread their seeds if we're going to be just like bartering. Like if I'm using this plant, my goal is to also expand its reach, to spread its seed, and to let it do its work and to put it in places where it can. So
that's right.
Or even thinking about how we can tie that to culture and really find better ways to connect as a larger diaspora. And we don't even understand how much we do that with the foods that we eat. You have like callaloo that's similar to African spinaches. You have like sorrel and the hibiscus. We're using these things and we don't understand where they came from. And I just think that that's a really beautiful way for us to pour into our children, is to carry on those traditions.
I had sorrel for the first time last year and I fell in love.
I haven't had it. I want to try it.
It's really
oh my God, if I could.
Look, I be up in the Asian store like at least every other week. So
I know somebody who makes it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta find somebody, grandma at their house.
I can make you
I was about
some.
to say, okay. So look, we don't gotta go nowhere.
Come on,
What I
look.
also want to say to parents is to incorporate it into your life, and teachers too. Like, it doesn't matter why people don't think that people have these connections is because of houseplants. The houseplant industry conspiracy, honey. I'm not gonna do it on this podcast, but I do think that people, like having that like deep connection with the plants, it really is like incorporating into your life. So like if you're not doing teas already, like do a tea. Put a little bit of extra oregano in your spaghetti, like that kind of stuff.
Fresh basil.
Learn how to make those eggplants.
Yep. Well, I'm guilty. I have a bunch of plants. When I went to Khefera's plant and sip, I added it there. And I'll have to tell you that smaller one on the side, like it shriveled up. The other one's thriving.
I have a black thumb, so it's not.
No, you don't. You just need to pay attention to
Yeah.
Well,
plants'
first of all, if you
needs.
tell your mom that, just
I will say this: I have learned a lot about plants just being a plant mom, but I also have like a good, nice sized backyard. And I think at some point there was like squash growing because I saw like the flowering. But also, I think how parents can teach their kids is you can learn too. So you just go out there, get you a book, go or look something up on a search engine, preferably not Google because they're trying to kill us.
EcoAsia.
What?
EcoAsia.
What's that?
Plant a tree. It's a search engine.
Okay. Oh, I love that.
Plant a tree.
EcoAsia. Use that search engine.
Trees.
So just pick something that is in your region. Say, what plant is in my region that I can find and learn about it. And then take your child outside, touching feet to grass. Okay.
Because they learn through interacting with these things. Yes.
Also, Virginia State Parks. We are so blessed in Virginia to have state parks, to have quarries. We could scuba dive in a quarry. I learned that yesterday.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Like, let's get into it.
Yes.
Because algae
I'm
is
here
plants.
for it.
That part.
But really, like, we're so blessed in Virginia. We have so many amazing natural wonders. To understand plants, you need to know a little bit about rocks, know about our geology. We have, the James River, ancient volcanoes.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much about our ecology that's, like, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And we don't take enough advantage of it either.
We're going to have to do a BTS so we can talk about some of this and put it on our YouTube because I really feel like people need to hear this. Listen, for one, I grew up in the country. I stayed outside. Okay. And, You know, I often miss that because as an adult, you get taken away from that. But you know, look, your girl be trying to get me outside all the time.
Well, that's good.
You know, no, it is, and I really appreciate that. But we're gonna talk more when we come back.
Cheers.
On Girl What Podcast. Welcome back to Girl What. On this episode of Oh Snap, What's Next? We're headed right into the group chat Got Deep with our guests, Khefera Phillip-El and Danielle Freeman. And we're going to focus on food justice, community power, and the fight ahead.
Fight the power.
Fight the power. What? That's right. That's what we're trying to do.
All right, y'all. So I do have a question, and we're going to keep it 100. So not only do plants feed us, they've followed us through colonization, enslavement, and migration. How do you see food and foraging as a way Black people remember who we are across the diaspora?
Once again, it's making that connection to the foods that we're eating.
Yep.
Like, we don't even realize, like, and this isn't plants, but like chitterlings.
Yep.
You know,
Chitterlings.
that ties into ancient African practice.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
people were not wasting any part of the animal.
From the rooter to the tutor.
Literally.
Rooter to the tutor. Sorry, I just couldn't resist. Go ahead.
And when the tutor made right is good.
Y'all can have that. I'm sorry. Give me some grass. Go ahead, Khefera.
She said a salad.
What about okra? People don't know that's from the
okra
diaspora.
comes from Africa, and we see it, you know, it's traveled across the diaspora and it's made its way into our dishes.
Rice.
And even the way that we've become innovative and found ways to make things that were similar to what we had back home.
Like jollof rice. You find that, what's it called? Red beans and rice in South Carolina.
Or gumbo is an
Yep.
okra stew.
Field peas.
Come on, sprinkle that knowledge, y'all.
Cuckoo, that's fufu.
Yes. Cassava is yucca.
And
Love me some
recently,
yucca.
I found out that the leaves that they use to make kalaloo are from what they call the dasheen bush. And that's what the elephant ear alocasias that you'll see in people's front yards sometimes.
What?
Yeah.
They sure do.
Hide your plants in your yards. I'm coming through with some shears.
A machete.
Y'all don't need this.
Right.
This is aesthetic. No, it's food.
Exactly. You wasting food.
That's right. When we talk food justice, what does that really mean in Black and brown communities trying to survive in 2026?
Well, I mean, I think it means, as far as I can tell, exactly what we were just talking about, like remembering who you are and where you came from, who you are and whose you are, so to speak. But the plants have their own, like, spirit, you know, like they're their own beings and they know us from different contexts.
Yes.
So to have a relationship with the plant now is to have a relationship with the plant a millennia ago and a millennia in the future, if we get that far. But like, honestly, like food justice, food revolution is like everybody's mental health, somatic health, nervous system recalibration. Like, the revolution happens inside and it happens in community. Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna say about that.
I love that. No, she's over here laughing at me because, look, I'm in it. I am. Look, I'm for it. And I think another part of the discussion is that don't try to resist scarcity mindset. That's why it's so important to invest in your community, get to know your neighbors. You know, there's this fear of connection to the world around you, the people next to you, connecting with yourself.
Well, see, we preach community because it's like, you know, like you said, you never know what somebody has next to you unless you have a conversation. So for all you know, they could have a whole garden in their backyard.
Right.
And
I'd be
like
nosy.
you said, all you got to do is
I know all
ask
the
somebody.
things.
You know what I'm saying? Because most times people have a plethora of whatever they're making. You know, if they know what they're doing correctly. So they're not going to be afraid to share. Or even if it comes down to, I remember when I was little, I don't remember what type of greens it was, but there was a lady at the church my mom and I went to, and no lie, every Sunday she would come with some of these greens for us. Like, my mom was like, "Oh yeah, Lauren likes those," and I'm pulling the you now exactly. But she was like, "Oh yeah, she likes those." Every Sunday after that, like we would get them on a consistent basis. It's like so it also goes back to you have not because you ask not. Mm-hmm. So it's like build that community. Ask the questions that you might be scared to ask. That's not only are you getting to know somebody you may not have known before, but that could also build a new relationship. And again, going back to if it's something you don't know how to do yourself, this could be something that this person loves to do, even if it's just a hobby. But people, when they have their hobbies, they're like, oh, yes, I can teach you this and let me tell you about that. And it could become a whole beautiful thing where it's like, okay, it started with one person. Now it's two people. Then it could be the whole block. Then it could be the whole neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So we have to keep that in mind as well. So but
you also have to feed the community. You can't just take. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I want to put that disclaimer. You were going to say something?
I would be remiss if I didn't mention also that as a person who deeply understands plants in the natural world, we sometimes get overwhelmed with things. Mm-hmm. And it is so important to be able to identify that in yourself and take time with other communities. So when I say other communities, I mean plant communities. Like, if you need to go and sit in the forest for 20 days and 20 nights, do that. If you need to, sit around plants for a couple of years and just remind yourself who you are, then do that. Because if it's one thing about community, in life, in humans, everything has cycles, everything changes. And if we're community, we're community.
Exactly.
So I want to put that there too. Not to be community is not to always be present or being giving something or being given something. Yeah. Sometimes community is just letting someone have peace and be like to regulate, because it's a lot.
Yes.
It's a lot out here. And it's a lot of pressure to also feel like I'm doing this work and I got to show up all the time. That's not healthy.
No, it's not.
And what made me think about the mycelium networks and how they work under the soil.
You mean the fungus, the mushrooms? Yes.
So how they work under the soil and I can be in the mycelium network and I'm a oak tree over here and I'm like, hey, I need some nutrients. Right. Who can give me these nutrients? Yes. And so I feel like that's kind of a metaphor for being in community as well, and just an example of how the plant world kind of mirrors how we connect as well.
I'm going to take it a step further, and I'm going to say that, Monotropa uniflora.
Oh, she's showing us her tattoo on her left side.
So, Monotropa uniflora is a plant. It's a non-photosynthetic plant, and it's pink, basically. A pink or white. It's not green, though. And it's not green because it's not eating the same way other plants are eating. So how is it eating? Through these mycelium networks, through the exchanges that it's having with other plants. Now, in the scientific journals, you will hear white people calling this plant a parasite. But we've, through research and whatnot, there have been people that study the plant, the electrical signals and whatnot. Other plants, you plug them in, they play the little music and that. You've seen those videos. The Monotropa uniflora, she don't do that. She's quiet. And so we're talking about what is the meditative aspect of community. What part of community needs to be quiet? It needs to be quiet so other people can find peace sometimes.
Yeah.
So
correct me if I'm wrong. It's an antipsychotic, right?
It is. Yes. It will bring you from an overdose. It will bring you
down. Like what is it called? Narcan?
Yeah, like Narcan.
Yeah,
exactly. Like
see, they don't want us knowing these things.
Exactly, and
that's why the white people say it's a parasite, right?
Exactly, and then also how do we consider people in community that don't give out so much? Some people might be like, oh, she just said take, but there's so much deeper in relationship than just what you are right now. It's who you have always been and who we always have been together.
If you could change one thing systemically, policy, education, land access, or funding, to help communities eat well, what would it be and why?
That's a hard question.
I know.
Because it's bigger picture, we need complete system reform. Yeah.
We need to go back to the old ways, in my opinion. And you, Danielle, what do you think? Is that very...
I'm going to give our listeners a little insight as to why Farah and I's opinion is like this. So the origin story of apples, right, into the colonies or into the United States as it was when it was being colonized,
stolen
right,
land.
Right, as it's being stolen, right. So indigenous communities were growing apples, crab apples. Cool, fine. White people were growing crab apples, fine. But then indigenous folks with their plant knowledge, they were growing much better crab apples. They were juicy, they were sweet, they were different colors, honey. They had every type of apple you could get. Right. And so the white people started waiting until indigenous populations would build up their apple orchards a certain amount, because they're economically doing well, indigenous folks. So they're
flourishing.
Yeah, flourishing. White people let them get to a certain amount, to get to a certain point. They come in with their military and they'll drive indigenous people out of their space and then take over the apple orchard.
Sounds about right.
Right. And so when you're thinking about, and that is, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but through my research, that is one of the initial ways the United States built up its United States built up its military force, right? And so it's land seizure, it's taking good, delicious foods, intelligently cultivated foods from us. It's again, bastardization of the relationships. So I think like the one thing about systemic reform right now, it could be like it's everything. Like how it started off was rotten, but we can compost things.
Yep.
So we're gonna try.
I do that too. We can talk about that on the BTS. Wow. I mean, it is a lot, but I think we can start by, educating ourselves. And I think, I thank you for coming on here to talk about that, because, as we like to tell our listeners, don't just rely on what we say. Go and research this. We've got two well-knowledge, beautiful Black women in here who are dropping so much knowledge. So please follow them on, on social media. Where can they find you, Khefera?
You can find me at Khefera with periods in between each of the letters.
You got to spell it.
K.H.E.F.E.R.A. and at gardening.grio.
Okay. Yeah. Danielle, where can they find you on the interwebs?
On the interwebs, you can find me at dirtfarmdesigns.com or at Ifuruchia, IFURUCHIYA.
And would you say RVA Food Justice is a good resource?
RVA Food Justice, I would say that they're a good resource. They're more also in housing policy, but that's one of my favorite projects that I work on. Shout out to Omari and all the folks out at Red Street. We love you so bad. I love you so bad. But yeah, they're a great resource.
You can find them on Instagram at RVA Food Justice, or their website, www.richmondfoodjustice.org.
Yep. They've been in the work a long time, and since we mentioning people now, we gotta do the community. So if
RVA community fridges.
RVA community fridges, okay, for sure. Matchbox RVA, they cool. We love Kinfolk community. He's been in the work for a long time. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Arthur Burton. Deron Chavis, of course, has been in the work. But we want to, of course, elevate our ancestor, Lily Estes. Please do some research on her. She's one of she's the honorable ancestor. She's that girl. Yeah. And so I really want people to know that it's a much larger force out there. There are a lot of folks doing work. There are folks at Stockton.
There's a lot of people that there's a lot of people that we've learned from. You know, like I don't want people to think that you can just go out and do the research and you've got it.
No, but you need a community to do that, right?
Oh, Patrick Johnson's a great resource.
Well,
31st Street.
Thank you for that, ladies. We're going to hop into our That's It. We're going to talk about what we learned here on Oh Snap, What's Next? So what did we talk about today, Lo? We, with the what's the tea, sis? We were talking... the real cost of eating in 2026 with our special guests, Khefera and Danielle, which flowed into stretching a meal, stretching your sanity. And then we finally wrapped up with food justice, community power, and the fight ahead. We weren't able to talk about everything here because it's so hard to squash things into 45-minute segments. And but please go out and follow Khefera and Danielle to learn more, connect with the community, and remember, we're more alike than we're different.
And then also, if you're on our YouTube, remember to follow us. We are going to be having some additional resources. Also, I volunteer, this is Lo, with a food pantry. So we're going to put that information there as well as some other places where you are able to go, if you aren't in the position yet, and we're going to say yet, where you can, start foraging and having your own gardens. So, slow and steady sometimes can win the race. So, we don't expect you to go out tomorrow and think that you need to have a huge tree or, all of your collards built. So, growing. So, definitely, as we always tell you, tune in to our, social media networks so you can, get that information, because this is definitely a really good episode, and you'll learn even more on the behind the scenes clips. So we'll see y'all next week.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Sure.
Stay connected to Girl What Podcast by following us online. You can follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Girl What Podcast. That's GURLWHETPODCAST. We'd love to keep in touch with you. Come on, keep talking with us. That's what we do, right? Mm-hmm. So we have our, reflections. If you have any questions, comments, or you yourself want to reflect on anything you've heard us talk about, please don't be afraid to hit us up. Again, you can hit us up in our DMs on Instagram, or if you want to comment under one of our YouTube posts, you're more than welcome to do so. Again, both of those handles are Girl What Podcast, GURLWHETPODCAST.
And you also have the option to leave us a voice memo in our DMs, or leave us a voice message at 804-476-0905. Again, that number is 804-476-0905. And with your permission, we may feature it in a future episode. Your voice helps us shape meaningful dialogue on Girl What. So remember to stay in community. Remember to stay bold. And girl, keep talking.